Welcome back, beautiful people, to another episode of Not So Good Advice, where me, the host, Lou Bloom, gives you, the beautiful people, well, not so good advice. Yes, and yes, we're doing it again. Episode 25 coming up for you guys, the beautiful people. Believe it or not, people need this, okay? People need this around the world. That's my calling, I feel like. I feel it calling me. I just have to go around the world sprinkling not so good advice, because who else is going to do it? I see some episodes, some shows out there trying to do it, but they're not doing it. They're not doing it like me. Not like me. So disclaimer. This is not legal, nor it is professional advice. This is only strictly for entertainment and comedic purposes only. You should not be taking this literal. But if you do take it literal, like, comment, subscribe, send an email. My lines are open. notsogoodadvice19@gmail.com. We're dying to know how it turned out. Send any sort of question. Good question, bad question, mediocre question, funny question, fake questions, not real questions, hot questions, cold questions, smelly questions, questions that smell good, questions from your mama. Any sort of question. We want to hear it. Okay? We got a few good questions today. A few good questions. Hopefully we can get through all of them. So let's go. The first question goes like, advice for a depressed 27-year-old with no degree. Okay. I work part-time at a coffee shop because I can be around others and socialize. Other than that, I have so much time on my hands. I'm lonely and I end up every day going back to my childhood home and falling asleep on the couch because I feel so behind. I have about $600 to my name. I worked for a contractor for 4-ish years, but hated it and was way underpaid. I plan on going back to community college this spring, which is coming up within a few weeks, doing CompTIA Sense. But honestly, what is few weeks doing CompTIA Sense. I don't know what that means, but I honestly have no clue what I'm doing. I'm told it's oversaturated now, and it was just quick option to get my foot in the door. Nothing interests me, and I feel like such a loser burden. I'm worried about my future. I want to start making good money. Hate living in my father's basement like a teenager. I feel like a trade is my only option. I have been hospitalized in the past for a suicide attempt, and I have been on and off antidepressants since I was 16. I'm currently not on anything, so the military likely won't allow me. Well, believe it or not, a lot of people are in that position too. A lot of people are around well, let me say this. Everyone goes through midlife crises. A midlife crisis, we have like 3, and if you're lucky, you have 4. If you're really lucky. But yes, a midlife crisis. First one is like when you're maybe 18 or 21, because, you're not a kid anymore. You're not a baby. You're not a teenager. You're an adult. So, but that's like a little midlife crisis. The second one happens when you're like in your 30s, late 20s. If you're not doing everything you're supposed to do, you feel like you're behind. It's, it just happens, The third one happens when, I believe, it's when you're married or you have kids, because it's your body. You realize, oh shit, like my life is, if you're normal and you're like a good person, you realize like, whoa, my life is over. Like, it's the game's over. Like I'm married and I have kids. My life is for them now. That's my life, my kids and my wife. Like I said, if you're a good person, if you're a real person, that's what your midlife crisis is kind of. And then that's why you see a lot of because that's real. You're kind of midlife. Not when you're married, might be, but it's kind of like, that's why a lot of people who get married or like have kids and they don't get married, but they're gonna get married, but they got kids. They start to go out a lot to parties, and raves. I hate raves. And some people go to bars a lot, or they even start, doing drugs a little bit, or they start heightening up their drugs because they know they're gonna have to stop doing it in a while. But if you have kids, you really shouldn't be doing drugs anyway. But because they know, wow, I got a kid, I gotta like take care of this thing, and my life is way serious now. So that's like a little midlife crisis. And the fourth one, if you're lucky, because if you're lucky you live this long, is when you're actually in the middle of your life, which is around 45, 50. Not too much 45, but more like 50. When you're around, late 40s or 50s, that's like the middle of your life. And yeah, you kind of like, wow, I'm old, I'm older. Like, whoa, did I do everything I'm supposed to? If you're lucky you did. And there's also a bonus midlife crisis. The bonus one is when you're divorced. Usually you get divorced when you're older. Your wife or husband takes half your shit. Then, depending how you react to it, you buy crazy cars. Maybe you go on a crazy trip, or like get fake tits, or you do something crazy and drastic like that. And that's kind of a midlife crisis too. If you have an older uncle, or if your mom or dad, your dad starts dating a young girl and buys her fake tits, that's a midlife crisis right there. Maybe they sell their house, or they start buying another house, or they buy a huge car they shouldn't be buying. That's the midlife crisis. That's the bonus one. But I think you feel like that because you're not doing everything you're supposed to do, which is save money, work out, eat healthy, drink water, get sun, recycle, be nice. And you're not doing everything you're supposed to do. That's why you feel like that. When you feel nervous and depressed, anxious, it's because you're not putting enough work. That's what I always took out of it. So, you being depressed and having a suicide attempt, I would never condone doing that. This is a channel where we don't condone violence or illegal activities. Never. Ever. So, you need to get help with that one, and you need to really be introspective and find out the truth in life and what is so beautiful about it. Because if you look around, life is beautiful. Life is a balance. The pendulum swings. Right? So it might swing this way. Wow, life is beautiful and amazing, and this cute girl said hi to me, and then I got tipped really good, and then I won the lottery, and then, oh my God, like, I look good and sexy, and fucking the sun shined on me beautifully, and God blessed me and winked at me this morning. And then the pendulum swings the other side or the way, where it's like, oh man, I got my car towed and a boot, and someone broke my front window, and oh my God, I gotta pay taxes, and I just lost my job today, and my girlfriend left me, and wow, my friends aren't hanging out with me anymore, and wow, I just gained 10-15 pounds of pure fat, and it just, nothing in life is it's not working. And that's what you have to know about life, is it's a pendulum. It swings. Nothing is forever. Things change, people change, feelings change, and that's okay. So when you think you're stuck somewhere and you're in a horrible moment, it's going to go away. Even when you're in prison for like 30 years, 50 years, you can sit there and go crazy, but eventually it's going to be over. Whether you get out, you get released, or you die in there because someone stabbed you in the neck because, you try to defend yourself because you tried to get your cheeks. It's going to be over one day. It will be over one day. That's all I'm saying. If you're sick, you feel horrible, you're like, oh my God, my stomach hurts, what the heck? Oh, have you ever had that happen to you? When you're sick, your stomach, you have the horrible pains in your stomach, you're like, oh my God, what is this? And for a second, you're like, oh, I'd do anything to feel good. I'd do anything to feel normal. Please, God, get this feeling out of me. Oh, and you can't explain it. You're like a weird sickness or something for maybe a couple hours or even 2 days. You're like, oh, and then out of nowhere, it just goes away. You fart or burp or take a shit, or like you sleep it off, it just goes away. You drink a 7-Up, Pepto-Bismol, and it goes away, and then you're just like, whoa, oh damn, whoa, and then you feel on top of the world. You feel on top of the world. Nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you. And then after a few minutes, it goes away, and you take everything for granted again. So nothing lasts forever. But you should seek therapy and don't hurt yourself again. Next question. How did your life change after your frontal lobe developed? Did you personally or prospectively change drastically at 25? I've always been kind of mature for my age. Believe it or not, I have. And yeah, I've always been kind of mature for my age. But I did feel Not at 25, towards the end of 25. I felt that shit. I swear I felt that shit. And it wasn't like a... Okay, I kind of felt like it was like my third eye opened. It was decrystallized. And it opened up. And I felt it. I don't know. I noticed it too. I started seeing the world differently. I was like, whoa. And I started seeing color. And I started seeing, ones and zeros everywhere on the wall and people. And I started seeing vibes and energy. Not really. But I felt it. I felt it inside me. I felt it change. Because I just wasn't immature anymore. I mean, I'm always a child at heart. If you know me especially, I'm a child at heart. But it changed. I started worrying about more important things in life. Like money and my future and retirement. I started to care about people's feelings. It's weird. Yeah, I started caring about people's feelings. I started caring more about my family. I started wanting to give good energy out to help people. I wanted to tip people more and give money to the homeless more. And I wanted to make people around me, my family and friends, other people, lift and get up in this world. I wanted to bring their value up and bring them up. I wanted to be positive. But that's one thing that really stuck with me that I noticed is I started caring about people's feelings. Because in high school, a little bit now too, but way not like in high school. I didn't give up French toast I didn't give a maple syrup burnt French toast about what people thought and cares. And I don't care what people think still, but I didn't care what people felt, their feelings, and me vale. That's what I used to say. And but now I actually kind of care. I kind of care. And I don't know if it's my frontal lobe developed or maybe it's just when you get hurt so bad, so horribly, you get hurt that you feel pain so excruciating that you never felt before, and then it's over, and then you're like, wow, I never want to go through that again, and then you kind of care what people feel, and you're like, no, you want people to not go through that. It's crazy. If you ever notice that people in your life or people you know, if they almost die, if they get really hurt and almost die, they become very, very, very nice and sweet and very caring. I have a sister who I don't like to get too personal, but I have one who got diagnosed with cancer, 16, and doctor said she was gonna die, and by the grace of God, thank you God, she didn't die. I was a baby at the time, but she didn't die, and she survived, and now she's way past 16, so it's kind of like a miracle. But she's super caring. She cares a lot about people because she almost died and she was in crazy pain, and it's a real thing. Once you go through something that crazy, that painful, and just despair and darkness, that you kind of care a lot about other people. The immature people, the people who've never been hurt like that, they don't understand, and they probably won't understand until something crazy happens, like their mom passes away, or they lose an arm in an accident, or they get sent to war and they see horrible things and they have to do horrible things, and then when they come back, maybe they'll understand. But that's what I think. I knew other people too who almost died. One person I knew almost died from a snowboarding accident. He broke his back and he was all alone, for a night or something like that, and he could have died. And after that, he healed, but he was very, very caring and very peaceful, and he cared a lot about people's feelings. So that's a thing right there. That's a rant I went off. Sorry. Next question. Men who don't want children. If you don't want children, what's stopping you from getting a vasectomy? If you don't want children, what's stopping you from getting a vasectomy? Okay, you said that. I got mine for my 30th birthday last year. I never wanted children, neither does my wife. My siblings are 7 years old and 3 years old, so there's a good chance of me having to take good care of them later in life. But the vasectomy was $90 and it took about 45 minutes to complete. I was walking fine the next day, and probably the easiest decision I have ever made for my health. Okay, well, I might be biased, but I don't care. It's my show. So I'm totally against vasectomies, just like I'm totally against neutering your dog. Okay? There's no need for that. I kind of, even though it doesn't make sense and it's not true, I kind of feel like a vasectomy is basically neutering yourself. And us as men, we don't need to be neutered. What the heck? We have those for a reason, to spread our seed and be a man. That's part of it. I do feel like deep down inside, somehow, some way, if you do get a vasectomy, you're no longer, it does something to you. You're a man, yes, but it does something to you. You won't be the same. It does something to you. You don't have that primal animalistic instinct anymore, and what we were meant for. So I'll never do it. I will never advocate it, because it's like, dude, what if, the world stops or something crazy happens and you're the only one. You're the only man on earth that can make the human race go. And they're like, wow, the only man, yes, cool. And then like, whoa, you don't work. You don't work down there. And then that's it. We all perish because of you. What if you get sent out in outer space on a trip because we need a colony in Mars because Earth is just diluted in pollution and just everyone died on Earth, and you're out there and you're supposed to be one of the people to procreate, but you don't work. You won't hold as much value. I don't know. That's what I think. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do that shit. Next question. How do you feel about the shift from people offering phone numbers to now being asked if you have an Instagram, as it means to stay in touch? I like Instagram. It's cool. It gets addicted. I'm not going to lie. Addicting. But it's cool. I think it's a part of social. It's part of, the future of being social. It's kind of like a, just like your social. In Japan, they have credit cards. Not credit cards. In Japan, they have business cards. They're very important about business cards. I don't know if it's still that important in 2025, but they have business cards. Everyone has a business card. I don't know about women, but I know businessmen or men have business cards. In Japan, they give it over and they bow. They bow. Hoi! They bow. And they give over the business card. And just like, American Psycho, it means a lot. You look at it, you see how it is. Oh, yeah, they all examine the business card, and it means a lot. But over here, or a lot of places, our business card is Instagram, social media. You look at it, you look at all those pictures, and you can tell right away that type of person they are, who they are. Sometimes it's misleading because they're totally different, but it's like a business card. So, it's cool. But I'll tell you this. If you're a young chap, if you're a bro, if you're a dude, if you're a moro, okay, and you're out there trying to holler at the girls, don't go straight for the business card. Don't go straight for the Instagram. Don't do it. Because, especially if there's a pretty girl, even like not really pretty girl, mid girls, I get this a lot. Mid girls, or it happened to me a lot, but not anymore, baby, not anymore. But yeah. You ask straight for their Instagram instead of the number. You think, oh, I don't want the number. That's too much. Maybe just the Instagram. And they're always going to say, yeah. But, you'll be another follower. That's it. She would be like, I can use another follower. I can use another mindless guy, empty, just worthless person to follow me and that I'll never talk to again. I could do that. A lot of times, I'll never say always, but a lot of times they do that. And you'll just be another follower. So if you're talking to a girl, this is what I do. If I'm talking to a girl and I like her and we hit it off a little bit and I want to continue to get to know her, I say, hey, will I ever see you again? Or something like that. Or hey, is this it? Maybe we should go out, get coffee or something. Some bullshit like that. And then usually they'll say, yeah, take my number. Or I'll just ask, hey, am I ever going to see you again? Maybe I can get your number. We can text or something. And then she'll say, you can get my Instagram. You can get my Instagram. And you know what you say? The people who don't know, the rookies, okay, the little baby boys, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, I'll get your Instagram. and they get their Instagram, you'll be lucky if they even follow you back for a few days or a few moments, and then they unfollow you. You'll be lucky if they do that. But they put you in that box. But the real ones, the ones who know a thing or two, once they say you can get my Instagram, say, oh, I don't have one. I don't have an Instagram. Or you can just say, I got a phone. I got a phone number. I just got a phone number. And then you put the ball in her court. If she's really about it, she'll give you her number. And then again, she might unfollow you or not even text you back. So, but it's more of a you being assertive and telling her, letting her know in a nicer way, like, hey, I'm not about that bullshit. I'm not with that hoe shit. I ain't with that hoe shit. Okay? If you really want to be funny, if you really want to break that fourth wall, she said you can get my Instagram, and you reply with, I don't got an Instagram. I got an OnlyFans. Do you want to follow? And then she'll say no, and they go, oh, well, here's my number, or hey, let me put my number in your phone, whatever. Believe it, that shit works. But that's just the times now. We're in the future. Everyone wants OnlyFans. I mean, yeah, well, that too. But everyone wants Instagrams instead of numbers. But if you really want to be an adult, an assertive person, especially me, I'm not like a teenager. Okay, I'm not like my early 20s, so I don't get the Instagram. I go for the number, and then maybe if I don't care about her that much, I'll get the Instagram. I don't care about you. Here, yeah, let me get your Instagram. Let's follow. Okay, whatever. Next question. Is it inappropriate to ask your employee for hugs? I'm the employee, by the way. My boss the other day asked me for hugs. I said no, then asked me why. I told my boss that I don't like hugs, but I was honestly not comfortable with it. Then my boss asked me if I give my kid a hug. Obviously I do. Please tell me this is sexual assault, or am I being delusional? I forget to mention I work in a restaurant, so there's no HR. I forget to mention this was actually the second time he did this. Wow. So I'm assuming you're a lady, and that's a guy. That's a bro. Yeah. You keep it professional. I wouldn't hug. No. Maybe after working hours, you keep it professional. Okay? Outside of the restaurant, maybe, I guess you can hug, maybe. But like, especially if you're higher up, you're in like a position of power, kind of an employer, a boss, like a manager. Like, don't be hugging your staff. Come on, like even if you're super like close like that, you better be free flipping like close, okay? But I wouldn't do that.